Shalom, brothers and sisters. What I'm trying to do is, break down a couple of realms, a couple of ways on how not to sin, and well, actually, it's really the order of sin. Uh, the best way to avoid it is to know what type of situations you in and what causes you to do the things that you do, what sets your mind to react a certain way. And we know that spiritual wickedness in high places, but we always want to pick our battles and our ways to battle these different spirits and different realms. Um, so I'm about to tackle the order of sin. That way you can have a feel on, the steps of sin and the way to avoid it. I say there's about 4 realms to sin. Uh, the highest one being death, and the first one being temptation. I'm gonna go through the order right now. The first realm is temptation. The second realm is lust, and the third realm is sin, and the fourth realm is death. Now, how do we fight against spiritual wickedness? Well, one way we fight against spiritual wickedness is to see which battles we can pick. This battle that we see right here with temptation, we say, okay, I'm being tempted, but I don't want to do it. I'm not trying to do it. But then you got those also who takes the temptation and they lust. So once they lust and lust has conceived, they sinned. And once you sin, you put to death. So that's 4 different dominions, and we can't tackle death. Christ did it for us, but that's a process in due time. Can we tackle sin? Yes, we can, because we now that we know these steps to sin, we could avoid it. So I'm going to get a scripture real quick. This is James 1:14. It says, "But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed." Right? "Then when lust hath conceived, it brought forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." So, he showed you the direct route to death. Starting with temptation. And the reason why I call it the order of sin is because it's to help you understand how not to sin. Just to look at these 4 steps, you understand how not to sin. I'm gonna also read another one. This is definitely helping the brothers that are still sinning in their sinful ways and not repenting. This is Romans 7:14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin." We are sold under sin. This flesh right here is sold under sin. So we bound to commit a sinful deed or a sinful act because of the nature that we was grown into. But we could now, understanding these different realms of sin, we could now tackle it to where if we don't be tempted, we don't lust. If we don't lust, we don't sin. So where do we start up first? It said, we're going to keep going though. This is Romans 7:15. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I do. If then do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. Now, why is the law good? Because it shows you what not to lust after. It shows you every sin. Every sin, it shows you what you're doing wrong to commit death. So how do we tackle sin? Knowledge of sin is the law. It says right here, if then I do that which I would not. So if I'm doing something I don't want to do, like for example, eating pork or committing adultery or talking back to my parents, those are sins, and we want to have the knowledge of not to do it. So the main thing is have the knowledge of the sin. That way you already know your action or your consequence of your action. This is how we tackle sin. Having the knowledge of your consequences, which is death. So by that, we're gonna keep reading. It say okay, no. So that's good right there. It say I consent unto the law that it is good. So just remember, brothers and sisters, keep that in mind. These different realms. I'm gonna come out with some more, show some other type of realms. But this definitely right here is something that we must tackle. Remember, you tempted, then you lust, then you sin, then it's death. Alright? So if you find yourself sinning, or if you're a self-righteous player, don't be self-righteous about it. Go to the law, because it is good to know. It's definitely good to know. That way you know who you following. And you know that you being obedient. Very important to be obedient. All praise to the Most High. Now, holler back at y'all. Peace. Shalom.